In Hot is presented by Betano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan, everybody's favorite uncle. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for that welcome. Good to be here.
Don't forget, Sylvain St Laurent coming up on the show in just a minute. But just a reminder, coming up on December 24th, we have a Christmas special we'll be doing for you. So put that in your reminder list that we'll have gifts for the players to hand out. I know you're busy.
Oh, there we go. Thought we froze. We're back. We're back.
Your background's killing me, Bob. Just a blank canvas. That's
art.
I know that you're going to change yours soon, so send me the skates down. I'll get them up on the wall.
You want the skates? You can have them. I got to change it up. I
want you to put a poster of the gold helmet up.
Oh, I got to get the gold helmets down in the basement because when you sell your house, you got to declutter, right? So the office is like spotless right now. So.
I know that feeling. Hey, you guys should see me try. Hey, I'm doing so much domestic stuff right now. Yesterday, my 7-year-old and I put together a printer, put it on Wi-Fi, and I felt like she wouldn't get the reference, but I felt like Zoolander. We were just slapping buttons, looking for colors, and the celebration when I got it to work was way too heavy for what it entails.
Oh man, that's good shit.
Yorkie, are you a real tree kind of guy?
No. Growing up, we had a real tree. My dad loved getting like short, chubby, kind of disheveled looking trees. Like he liked to get that misfit tree, and it was like just felt sorry for it. Kind of like Charlie Brown, like just get to it. And lots of tinsel, tons of tinsel.
Oh, now you clearly didn't have cats growing up.
No cats. No cats.
We put tinsel on one time. One of my first years, we had the cats, and the thing took a flying leap off the couch right into the middle of the tree trying to get it. I was like, never again. Trees down, lights everywhere. I was like, nope.
That would have been good. I wish there would have been video of that. By the way, how's the goldfish doing?
Still alive. She had to go out. Oh, she had to go out and buy so much shit. But every time I'm on FaceTime with the kids, I see that thing swimming. I don't know if it's the same goldfish, but that guy's still kicking. Goldie is his name.
Just to reset for people that don't know the backstory, Bob sent his kids home to his ex-wife with a goldfish. Here you go.
Not a goldfish we won, a goldfish that I saw somebody carrying and was like, yep, here's $10 on the way out the door.
Holiday spirit all around. Okay, we got some work to do before we get to Sylvain. I want to get into Jacques Brent on the ice today for the first time. He will coach his first game tonight. I guess his first night of Jacques 2.0, we should call it. This show always brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Super knowledgeable, not sure what to get. Go see the staff at Charm Diamond Centers. They'll help you out. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. Holidays are here. It's the perfect time to check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mined diamonds, and don't pay until 2025 with their instant in-store financing. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com.
And as always, our good friends at BEI, the show is brought to you by our good friends, at BEI, Bonisher Excavating, heavy civil general contractor in both the public and the private sectors. When planning your next project, consider BEI for your aggregate supply needs, including equipment rentals, hauling and floating, hot mix paving, and some concrete formwork. You can find them at bonisherexcavating.com or give them a shout at 613-432-1120. BEI, free hockey Fridays. If you're a part of the team, or if you're just me and you happen to be in town, apparently I'm allowed. I'm allowed. So as always, slow down in construction zones. And thank you to our good friends at BEI who are always helping to shape the Ottawa Valley.
And also Battlegrounds axe throwing. It's safe. It's fun. It's great for a party event or just something to do. It requires no practice. Come to Battlegrounds axe throwing facility and the coaches will show you the ropes and show you how to hit the target safely. For fun for the family as well as kids. 12 and up can throw with the Guardian. Book your December holiday party now and snag exclusive Boxing Day and break week rates. Visit between December 26th and the 29th for 15% off. To find a location, book your event, go to battlegrounds.com, BATL grounds Scrums.com, 2016-15 Lancaster Road, near the Science and Tech Museum. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, Sylvain St Laurent, who is now going to join the show. Sly, how are you?
Hey, friends.
There he is.
Bonjour.
Sleep just announced, I just want to get this off the top. You announced on Twitter last week, I can't keep the day straight anymore. You'll be leaving Le Doigt. Can you just fill us in? And we're sorry to see you go, but I have a feeling you'll still be around.
Yes, you're actually right. I guess after 25 years, I've decided a couple of months ago that it was time to try something a little different. Le Doigt was offering opportunities to take buyouts and to pursue other opportunities. I still love this job. I love being at the arena. I love talking hockey with people. So you'll still see me on TV. I'll still be on radio. I'll still appear on podcasts. But my days as a print reporter are coming to an end.
Well, just I loved being in Scrums with you. I thought we had a great time. I enjoyed it. You were the only person I really got into any kind of disagreement with in Scrums, because we both wanted to get the job done. So there were a couple times, I'd be like, because guys in Scrums, or people in Scrums, I should say, they don't always ask all the questions. And so when you're the only guy, and Bobby can attest to this, and Yorkie, when you're one reporter asking all the questions, the player will shut down. And so you need someone to come in over top. And Sleepy, as we also is his nickname, I used to be like waiting for him. And so one time he didn't, and I was just annoyed. I was like, God, just help me out. I do remember. So anyway, we're fine. But I was like, God, I need some help.
Yeah, but the important part is we're all good friends now. It's okay to argue once in a while.
All right, let's get on to it, shall we, gentlemen? Jacques Martin tonight behind the bench in Arizona against former Ottawa Senator assistant coach Andre Tourigny on the other side. Sleepy, let me get your reaction first of all to yesterday's events and seeing, and you've covered all of DJ Smith, you've covered Jacques Martin, of seeing this change happen.
Well, I guess from the moment Jacques was hired as a senior consultant, we knew at that moment the Senators had a viable option if they ever wanted to go the interim head coach route. But I didn't think that they would do it on the road in the middle of the long road trip, which is not something you see all the time. I guess in the end, Steve Staios decided it was a better thing to do for DJ Smith not to let him come back and face the fans on Saturday after another difficult road trip. So I'm not entirely surprised to see Jacques Martin stepping back behind the bench. I know he's never really wanted to leave. I mean, coaches are like that. Once they get the bug, they always want to do it, regardless. He was in a good situation, but I guess just the calling was just too strong.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
could
Yorkie.
you imagine that? And part of the reason, so I don't know about you, but could you imagine that game at home on Pittsburgh if you lose the rest of this? What would have happened? So that's me. I think that's got a lot to do with it. Like people right before Christmas, it was like the frustration had kind of turned into people almost beginning to not care, right?
Well, that was the thing. I got a text first thing in the morning yesterday. A question being asked to me said, "What would be the worst scenario, the most awful thing to do? To fire DJ Smith just before Christmas, or to let him come back and face the fans after a tough road trip?" And you know what? The question was very good, but I think, when you start to think about it, the answer was pretty easy. DJ Smith was probably aware that his time was coming to an end. If management wanted to offer him another contract, it would have been easy to negotiate with him in the fall. Now he knew he was getting ready to leave this job. So to do it and not have to face the fire DJ chance, to me, was the good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just luck out in having Jacques Martin? Because Sly, that this was not part of the plan to start the year.
No, for sure. I think Jacques was waiting, and he was in a very comfortable position. He had TV contracts, radio contracts. His clients allowed him to live in Florida. TVA Sports would actually fly him to Montreal once a week to do a couple of games and send him back to Florida. So he was very comfortable. But I think Jacques was in a situation where if he was going to come back to an NHL team, it had to be the right situation. A team that he felt could allow him to maybe get a chance to win one more cup or go on the last cup run in the next couple of years. So I think when Ottawa called him, he figured that it was the right fit.
Bobby,
it's hard to believe
any ideas, by the way, of getting flown in for the shows.
No, I don't think that's in the budget. I you trumped me there because now I don't know what I was going to say. So move on.
Well,
I took a dig and I had something. Oh, it's hard to look at. And again, we on the show had higher hopes for this team. I think all of us put them up in the playoff position. I don't know if you did, Wally. Did you have them in the playoffs?
Yeah,
we all did.
Yeah. God, hell, I had them second in the division in my mind at one point.
Me too.
But it arguably hard for him to look at this group and say, in the next couple of years, they're a Stanley Cup contender. For me, anyway.
Well, I mean, to me, it's a situation where you have a team who last season, between Christmas and April, were able to put some pretty decent runs. It's funny how people, after the season started and the Sens didn't play so good, some of our colleagues went, well, the expectations were too high. Well, I'm sorry. Once you spend to the cap, expectations should be high. And that's where this team is at right now. So I think, I don't know, Jacques Martin at this juncture probably sees something in this team that he saw, same thing in the Senators that Yorkie played in 25, 30 years ago.
A lot of similarities. You got like a lot of young guys kind of just starting to figure it out. How about that? What do you think, Sly? Do you think Jacques just a stopgap? Or is this just and they hire somebody else in the summer? What's your what do you think?
I tried asking Steve Steos this question yesterday. He wouldn't budge about. To me, the biggest question right now is about the GM. Right? If this team has decided to do things right, they will hire the GM and then let this GM just hire the right people around him that he will work well with. So, but Steve Steos wasn't going to give us a timeline. In the meantime, I think, Jacques will be fine in the interim role.
For sure.
He's a very young 71-year-old. I find like he doesn't look his age, he doesn't feel his age. But I don't think it would be the best gift to give this man to put him in that position for too long.
You know what they're going to have to do, Back when I played, you guys remember the old school Stairmasters where you get on there and you go up and down? Jacques used to get on the Stairmaster after every practice, when the players clean out. So they're going to have to get a new Stairmaster and to keep Jacques going. Every day.
Those who don't know, go ahead, Yorkie.
Every day he was on that Stairmaster because he'd try and do it once everybody left. But if you snuck in, you'd see him on there just going, doing his thing. Slow and steady. Yep.
The game's changed. DJ Smith might be one of the strongest people in the organization. Yeah, he couldn't run a quarter mile, but I'm telling you,
he'll throw you a quarter mile.
Man, when I was coming back and I was around the team and I had been out, Pierre Dorian had said, "You're not going on the ice until you pass all the fitness testing again." And I was like, "All right, nerd, whatever, I'll do it." So I was training extremely hard, but I would be in there on off times because I had to kind of keep distance as to play, the association, the rules and whatever. But DJ's a fucking monster with a barbell. Unbelievably strong. I just watched him pick up 135, just walk it around the room, like over his head. I was like, the way he's built, you can tell, but I was like, DJ, the bike's over there, pal. and then he said, "Why don't you come with me?" He said the same thing.
He owns a CrossFit gym in Windsor.
Oh, does he really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
He pounds the weights every day. Like he's diligent with his workouts.
He is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
So today, guys, I don't understand. They just fired the coach. You have a new coach taking over, and it's an optional skate in the morning. So I'm going to go to the players first. Are you guys? That one bothers me a little. I'm not a player, and maybe it's a bigger deal than it should be. I think everybody should be on the ice, even if it's optional. I think you guys should all be on the ice because you guys are the reason, partially, that your coach is fired.
I don't know. Towards the tail end of a road trip, that's when you start to see optionals, right? Whether or not you're winning games or you're in a good position, that's just kind of when you see them. There is some wear and tear that goes on when you're traveling in late nights and things like that. It's a different thing. I agree with you in one sense, Wally, but at the same time, he does have to protect the players. If he has an overwhelming number of players that are in the injury report, whether it's a little bang up or something small or it's a contusion, you just look at it and go, it's in our best interest to not expose these players to anything else. So that might be part of it. But all that being said, this day and age, it doesn't matter. You can skate or not skate. I was a big believer in the skate. I was on every optional. I just needed it. I knew that it was something that my body needed it. Other guys know their bodies so well now that they're like, all right, I'm a little fatigued. Today's a layback day. And we get ready for tonight. So I don't read much into optionals anymore. I really don't. Optically, I get what you're saying, but I don't.
It's really hard, especially on a game day, to do any kind of teaching on the ice. So I would think they probably had some kind of meeting as a group, and probably longer than usual on a game day, because Jacques going to probably want to do some things a little bit differently. So if you run the skate, everyone's got to get ready. You got to stretch. You got to go on the ice, and you got to shower. But if you just do a team meeting, and for me, it's more important today than to get a certain understanding of what the coach wants right now. So I would think, Sly, that's probably more beneficial right now than skating.
Well, I think to your point, there's a question I also like to ask the former players. Jacques' first quote as an interim head coach was to say, we're not going to touch the system. Players are comfortable with it. We're going to go and pay special attention to details. Now, I wasn't surprised by the first part, because most hockey NHL teams play the same system, do a few details. But what do you think exactly he meant when he said we're going to go into details? What are those details?
If you watch how the Senators play, the biggest detail they're missing in their game is they don't manage the puck well at the blue lines. And one of Jacques' biggest parts of what he tries to teach teams is to make high percentage plays in the most important areas of the ice. So I look at the Senators, and they turn the puck over so much at the offensive blue line. They try and squeeze plays through off the rush against they don't pick their spots. I think Jacques' teaching will be, okay, this situation here, I want a little chip here, chip the space, do this, do that. So just go over the little details, which are things like that. And just probably we talked about this yesterday, Bob and Wally, being tighter as a group. Ottawa under DJ plays very stretched out. I would think Jacques is going to try and get them to be a little tighter. So if there is, you're just always I was always taught to play and be in a position as a defenseman. Think of what could happen if the play doesn't work. Are you on the right side of the puck? So those are the kind of details I can see Jacques trying to teach this group.
That's exactly what I thought. And just briefly going back to the morning skate, after the meeting yesterday, or after the firing yesterday, there was more than 100% chance they had a meeting at night in a ballroom that lasted a while. The players spoke. Then they came in this morning and they went over video from last game. And he can't delve into the details of last game because he wasn't at the helm. But at the same time, he can pick apart some things and say, this is where we cost ourselves. So the players are probably meetinged out, and that takes a toll, whether people understand it or not. It does. You're trying to process 100 different things at once. So that might also be a reason they're not skating. When you ask about the attention to detail, I think there's two. The biggest thing for me would have been puck management, for sure, and being south of the puck on defense. They're always north. And that's the offensive drive. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's better to be early offense and late on defense. Be below the puck and stop cheating. And that's right. And if he's got to be firm in that. You have to be firm in that, and you have to sit guys down. You have to talk to them. You have to really, really be firm.
One thing that's going to be non-negotiable, you're not going to see anymore. They call it the poke and hope.
Yeah, I was famous for that.
The poke and hope, because you're in the neutral zone and you're 50-50 with the guy, and you poke it, hoping it gets by him, and you get an outnumbered rush. Poke and hope is going to get you on the pine.
I called it the old drive-by.
Sleeping, help me out. It was Brad Marchand on? Was it Chris Weidman? No, Dylan DeMello, when he did the poke, and Marchand goes, he reached and I teached, or something to that effect.
Yeah, that was different though. That was a one-on-one defensive situation. But what a great! I remember reading that. I remember making fun of Mello. I was like, "Did you know?" But as soon as Brad got out here and Mello extended the stick, and like he still had body position, and Marchand's just so good and slimy at getting through things. He pulled that puck in, and I went. I
can't use that. It's copyrighted.
But you know what, Yorkie? Actually, thanks for refreshing my memory about the offensive blue line. I came in as a reporter during Jacques' last couple of years with the Senators, and basically that was hockey university, listening to an NHL coach every day, and he was speaking so much about the blue line's turnovers. I used to think that was everything in hockey, actually.
I'm going to tell you guys the way we practiced under Jacques. He would position, this was one of our warm-up drills. He would position the 4 coaches at the 4 different blue lines. I'll never forget this because Jacques had this old Peter Forsberg wooden stick. And you'd have to pass it. The other guy would skate at Jacques, and he'd do a chip by Jacques, and it was had to be off the ice a foot, and then the other guy would skate into it. So you just keep doing these high percentage chips into space, and we just did it over and over again. Then we practiced dump-ins. And if you didn't dump it in properly, you had to do it again. Then we practiced line changes. And then it was just little details over and over and over again. At the end of the day, we end up winning a lot of close games because we paid attention to the details. And that's how it works.
Yeah. People used to, correct me if I'm wrong, Yorkie, guys would complain about how practices were basically boring because you did the same drills over and over again.
Oh, he loves the 2-on-0 back check too, Bob? The 2-on-0 back check.
Oh,
you go down on a 2-on-0, pass, shoot, stop in front of the net in case there's a rebound, back check the other guys. And it's crazy though, because when I started coaching junior A, I'm like, shit, I'm doing all Jacques drills. You can't help yourself. What's that?
Yorkie, did you get your defenseman to start on the red line, like a one-on-one battle with the defenseman had to skate backwards, not start?
Yes. That my D hated that. And Bob, the forwards hate that one too. You get the forward starting on the far circle on the hash. D, one skate in on the top of the circle, one-on-one straight down. It's a hidden bagger. So is the 2-on-0 back check.
Alex Formanton used to love that drill as a breakaway, but for me, I was like, I don't care who I'm going against, unless it was somebody real clunky. I wasn't winning the race anyway. So coaches used to blow me down all the time. They would hate it because I'd be like, I have a much better statistic chance of beating a guy one-on-one with a move than I do at speed. That's just the way that my game was going to translate. So I would go as hard as I could to the blue line and then slow right up and allow him to, but it would mess up his gap. And then he'd have to slow up. And then I would, So I was like, that was my trick of the trade. And I was like, and it's not a bag skate when you do it that way. It was 5 hard strides and then a one-on-one.
Oh yeah. Slow it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Sleepy. Hold on. I'm going to get you to a question, but this may help lead into that question. Brought to you by by Wendy's. Did you know? Wendy's is letting you win real food with your fantasy teams this year with the Wendy's Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. For those of you who dream of smoking the competition, Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that will have you winning despite your lack of winning combinations. Here's the big secret to lineups. It's all syrup dishes, like Wendy's new limited edition chicken strips and French toast sticks. Sometimes the best teammates are the ones you least suspect. Sign up today. Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool. Go to dailyfaceoff.com. It's up in the right-hand corner. Click on the icon to win weekly prizes like the new chicken strips and French toast sticks from Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Wendy's, we keep it fresh. Okay, so there's been 6 mid-season coaching changes for the Ottawa Senators. The next game, the Ottawa Senators are a combined 0-6. If you're betting today, you might want to keep this in mind.
Have we not done lock of the day for a minute here?
No, we haven't done lock of the day.
I feel like I'd be pulling away right now. I got to be honest with you guys.
Can you just wait till we get to that segment?
Yes, fair enough.
Sleepy, what do you think you will see tonight from the Ottawa Senators? And do you think that this will change and number 7 will be a W?
You know what? I will say that history will be made tonight. I can't remember any of those 6 previous games, even though I probably covered the last 4. But but I think what the 2023-24 Ottawa Senators have proven us so far is that they are capable of the best and the worst in 1 week. And I think right now they're overdue for a very strong performance.
Okay.
10-5. They're 10-5 at Mullet Arena. I'm just looking at the stats here.
The Arizona Coyotes, they've also we'll get to the lock of the day in a sec. But so, how does Jacques and Alfie run this bench? Do you like? Are you and I both covered Alfie, and of course Yorkie played with him. So, it's exciting for us to see it. Obviously, he's got legendary status. How do you think this game plays out with those guys behind the bench?
Well, I think it's an interesting match because, as you and I both know, in the end, they'll try and make this work together. But the Alfie and Jacques marriage of 20 years ago wasn't always a happy one. They would butt heads quite. I mean, you got one of the former teammates laughing. I'd like to hear your memories from these periods, Yorkie.
No, I think it'll be good because the worst thing you could have in a coaching staff is a yes man. You need other people challenging one another because it's not always the right way that one person thinks. So I think it's a very good mix because you've got one person that is so detail oriented. But then again, Alfie's very detail oriented too. He's just he sees the game through the eyes of an offensive player, and you have Jacques who sees the game limiting mistakes and all that. But still, Jacques got a bad rap, guys. A lot of his teams produced a lot of offense. Like that's one of the things that I always thought he got a bad rap for.
Gavin, do you have that board of Jacques' coaching time in Ottawa? You may not have it. Where he ranked through his full 8 seasons in Ottawa. I think overall, through 8 years, he was 6th overall in offense. The team was ranked per goals per game, and that there was the year he led them. They led the league in scoring. Those guys could score goals because you couldn't get through the neutral zone.
Yeah. Well, you look how the NHL, like it always kind of goes in ebbs and flows, right? It changes from one style to the other. Yeah. And now the style that's working the best is the style Vegas plays. Like, and you look at Vegas last year, they don't have a ton of guys like that are in the top 10 in scoring or anything, but they just, like you said, they're tough to get to the neutral zone, attention to detail, don't beat themselves. Kind of how Jacques coaches when you come to think of it.
Yep.
Is it where his team's primarily very, very good in transition, the turnover and pounce kind of stuff?
Ridiculous. Unbelievable, Bob. We would practice it so much. It was just boom, D, up, in, chip, chase. Always putting the other team in a position of duress. Where
there's nothing worse than playing a team that just as soon as one D touches it, he zips it either straight up his wall or across and up the other wall. You're not looking for skating the flank and moving it across to that open. D hate it. Forwards hate it because you skate all the way up because you have to forecheck, and then you're just turning right back to your zone. It's awful to play against.
Yeah, it's take your first best option and get it moving up ice fast so the forwards don't have to slow down, and then just reading the play. Yeah, it's basically hockey. It's like if the D back in, carry it. If they don't, put it behind them. It's not freaking complicated.
Fair enough.
There's a question in the chat from Holy Smokes 666. Says someone on TSN 1200 this morning said that Jacques used to practice line changes, specifically second period long line changes. Is that true? Is it Yorkie? I don't remember this.
We were the best team when I was there for 5 years under Jacques, catching teams in the second period. So it works. Bob knows this. It works very good in the second period where we had set plays where as soon as the other team dumped it in, and we would catch other teams on slow changes where you'd they dump it in, meander to the bench, and our goalie right away, would get it, fire it to the D, and then the D just one touch it to the far forward at the far blue line, and then the center would support, and you would catch a ton of teams on bad changes. Second period, we practice that all. I forgot about that. Wally, good catch there. All the time. It's just, again, that's another little detail where you might get a couple extra goals here and there that are the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah. Sylvain, as you see this change take place, we've all said that they have a great core. I'm starting to wonder if there needs to be some change. Do you think by the time next year rolls around that there's a piece that we considered close to a core, if not a core piece missing? There's 3 untouchables for me: Stützle, Tkachuk, and Sanderson. Outside of that, everybody is fair game to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And that's why, to me, the biggest question is the GM position. I watched your show from yesterday when you were actually talking about this, and it wouldn't be a bad thing to have an outsider coming in who has who owes nothing to any of the players in place right now, and who could actually make a change or two. This is still, even though the team is pending to the cap, this is still a very young team, and to me, it might not be the worst thing in the world to make not a ton of changes, but one change or two, bring in a few players that will give something that this team doesn't have, and then see where it goes. But then you need to have
heard it first
in place for that.
You heard
Sylvain wants to blow it up.
Oh yeah, Wally wanted to blow it. Wally said the word rebuild yesterday.
Oh yeah, you got raked over the coals too, hey?
Rebuild, come on.
When you think about this, this team, for as many coaches as they had, hasn't had a GM change for the last 16 or 17 years, because when Brian Murray gave the team to Pierre Dorion, that was basically a change in continuity. So how many teams right now, besides Ottawa and Nashville, maybe have had the same management for that long? And sometimes an outside look is good.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. It's proven that this may not be the right combination of players to be successful. We may find out with Jacques at the helm, but as of right now, it looks like there needs to be something added. And I think it's a physical game.
As of now, but I do think that you owe it to the players now to play 30 games under a new voice to really start to separate who's here and who's not.
I'll say
they've all played for the same person, and obviously that combo hasn't worked. Now you have a different voice and a different style to see who adapts to that and who buys in and who's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Well, now, guys, it's going to be now. It's on the players.
Yes.
Now the excuse is gone, saying, well, you heard this all the time. DJ's not a good coach. Everybody was saying that. The players aren't good because of the coach. That excuse is gone now. So this is going to be really interesting, Sly.
Yeah, and I had one more question. I forget which one of you two said something about players not buying in or not listening or not following the plans. Will ride the pine for a little while. This is something we haven't seen much under DJ Smith. He was a very forgiving coach. You actually see some kind of like more tougher love style coming with Jacques?
I think you're referring to what I said, where players are going to have to start to be. I don't like the word or the term "made examples of."
Accountability.
Yes, that's a better word for it. I think the players are going to start to be held a little more accountable. Again, I think that DJ got himself in a weird position because for so long he was just teaching, where the rope is extremely long when you're teaching and there's no expectations to win. Now you have expectations because you spend to the cap and you're still teaching as opposed to coaching. You've taught them what they're supposed to do. They're not doing it. Now it's time to coach a little more. And the runway stayed the same for a lot of those players. I think the runway should have been shortened earlier. I think that some players that were continuously being players that were continuously lost or continuously cheating or whatever, they weren't just reined in and brought down. They might have done so. And DJ, I know, has conversations in private because he doesn't like to do it publicly, but it wasn't working. So I think if you start to see players being sat in some situations, some ice time taken away, there will be more accountability. I'm a player that got sat. I know it, right? Bruce Boudreau, Randy Carlisle, they had no problem sitting Getzlaf, Perry, and I down if it wasn't going well.
I can remember when I first came to Ottawa, I was new team. They had traded for me. So usually when you trade for a player, you play him right away. I was playing okay, and I thought I was playing good. And then all of a sudden, within a couple of weeks, Jacques scratched me, brought me in, and said, "We need you to be better." He goes, "I expect more." He goes, "We just traded for you. You got to be better." Plain and simple. Did some video. This is what you got to do. But when I came back into the lineup, I played way better because I had a little bit of fear in me. And it's amazing what that can do to guys. So yeah, it'll be interesting because now today's a little different. Guys have a little more power, especially guys that are making $8 million and are on 7-year deals. And that's the trick, right? That's the trick. How do you get your point through as a coach to these types of players? The situation DJ was in the last year of his contract, it's pretty tough. But Jacques will be in a more of a position, I think, to do that because he's been there, done that. He's won a couple cups, and it'll be like I said, this will be a very interesting to see which players respond, and hopefully they all do, and they get to where we all think they should be.
Well, you don't turn a team over to Jacques Martin on an interim basis, and he doesn't take the job on an interim basis if he's not giving full capability to do it the way he sees fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we move on, Yorkie, Holy Smoke 66 active today in the chat. It also helped that Jacques played York with Redden. So
That'll do it, eh?
yeah, a little help with Wade Redden. All right, we got to move on because
a rookie Wade Redden, by the way. So
okay.
Who do you think got him going? Who do you think got him going?
So if we were to ask Wade, what was the turning point in his career? Do you think it would be Jason York?
Come on.
100%. He knows.
You guys were a good deep pair. I will admit, you guys were very good defensively together. All right, speaking of D, we're moving on. This show proudly delivered, as always, by DoorDash. Santa is coming. Christmas just around the corner. Don't stress about gift buying and waiting in long lines. Order everything you need this season from the comfort of your couch with DoorDash. Yes, even at the last minute, finding that perfect gift has never been easier. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25, all uppercase letters. That's 25% off and up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store. Enter code NATION25. Offered valid in Canada, subject to change. Terms apply. Okay, so Jacob Chychrun's returning to Arizona for his first game against his former team. Played 373 games there. He's riding a 3-game point streak, 6 assists in that time. I believe he probably will be jacked for this game. There's some good money on the board, Bob, I would think. But maybe that will help you make your decision as I'm going right into our lock of the day so we can chat about this game tonight, which is brought to you by Betano, Betano.ca, the EGR award winner for both the best sportsbook operator of the year and best in-play sports operator, coming up on Saturday, December 23rd, live online trivia game show. Biggest prize pool yet, $2,000. One of the many ways Betano is celebrating the holidays. No deposit required. You only need a Betano account to participate. It's a 9 p.m. draw. Betano, the game starts now. Must be 19. Please play responsibly. Okay. Lock of the day. I know you've been anxious. And you know what, Sly? I'm going to let you pick mine for today. So you get to pick. Yeah. Got a guest on. We've never had a guest pick a lock of the day.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the concept. You're gonna have to walk me through here.
You just have to pick who's going to win tonight. That's all you got to do, but you got to pick the right one because I need the help. I've struggled of late, and so Bob's ahead.
I can't go back. I can't go back. I picked Ottawa already.
There you go.
No, you get. I can let you change up until the end of showtime.
Nope. I'm gonna stick with my pick, and sorry if that doesn't pan out for you.
I showed you the board, right? You've lost 6 of these games, right? You've been given all the info, right?
Why Wally had this huge lead, and he's just choking now.
Just wasted it away.
Yeah. All right, Yorkie.
You gave me
I'm taking that. Yeah. I'm with Sly. I'm going with the coaching bump here.
Yeah.
Coaching bump. It worked against the Sens when St. Louis put the boots to them after they got rid of Berube. So I'm going to go with the coaching bump, and Ottawa's going to win this game.
Oh man, I'm torn because I'm a big believer in the coach. I'm a big believer in the coaching bump. But I like Arizona. Cooley's a hell of a player, but they have had back-to-back shutouts, which I don't like because that's what usually you get blown out. I'm taking the Sens too. I'm with the guys, baby. I'm with the boys. Now, are you going to override here, Yorkie, and take Sly's pick away from him? Or not, Wally, I'm sorry.
No.
It's all good. Wally put the Sens fans through enough yesterday. We need a love-in show today. When he brought up the word rebuild,
you're bringing it up now.
No wonder you gave your pick away.
It's like that. It's like that GIF you always see when the Leafs lose in the playoffs of Matthews kicking all the fans in the nuts. Like that's what you were doing yesterday. You know that you guys know the GIF I'm talking about. Eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Sleepy, do you see this? I know you're picking an Ottawa victory. Is it close? And by the way, we should point out Brady Tkachuk has ties to obviously Arizona, and Mark Kastelik is going back to play in Arizona. There is, I would think, some momentum on Ottawa's side.
Yeah, and and you've asked prior a couple of minutes ago how are Alfie and Jacques are going to split the bench duties. Well, Alfie should have his hands full trying to kickstart the power play again, which is the main reason why he was brought in, I think, as a defensive-minded player. And there's no reason. Like, people keep saying that the Ottawa Senators are looking for their identity. Well, right now with the core that they have, they should be a team that is driven by their power play. So I'm thinking right now, this group that has had success, I can see them finding back chemistry sooner than later, and I think that's one of the reasons why they will win this game tonight.
I like that.
Do they need to make so are you okay with the current lineup? Sorry. Would you make any changes to the way this lineup is built at the moment? And I do appreciate the fact that Yorkie's favorite guy, Rourke Chartier, is not there. Obviously, Matthew Joseph. I don't know the status on Vladimir Tarasenko. I don't know if they've updated us. They are missing, obviously, some players.
I'm thinking right now, the quality of players right now and the experience.
I really like Angus Crookshank.
Yeah, he was okay in his first game, but it's still a lot to ask for. I don't know how many games on that bottom six you have in the NHL experience, but it's tough to make changes. I don't know what you guys would see, but I don't think there's much you can do right now with all the guys out of the lineup.
No.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can promise you, you're not going to see Parker Kelly and Zach McEwen the first shift of the game trying to do a high roll play against the top line, which they did in the game against Vegas. Remember that play, Bob?
Whoa, that was tough. That was tough.
Why are you trying to pop the high forward out with your fourth line and try a high risk play at your own blue line against Stoner, who's the best pickpocket artist in the National Hockey League? Like, those things, they won't be happening anymore.
I'm switching my pick.
What?
No, you can't switch now. Just because
I get up till game time, and you just talked me into it, because guess what? Those habits aren't stopping overnight. The boys are gonna be chipper tonight, but again, I like that I'm in the lead, and I can't further the lead unless I go against the grain. I'm a big believer in the bump, but I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah, put that line up again. I don't know. I got to see that bottom six again.
If you put that up, and that's what made me just switch. And then you talked about him trying to score with the pick. No. All right.
It will look a little different. Vladimir Tarasenko is back.
Is he back?
Okay. Well, he skated yesterday, so again, with the optional, I don't know the update for lines there.
Okay, Tarasenko's in. Bob, when you got on the ice, did you always look around and see who you're playing against? I did.
Well, I always knew. Yeah. I always had a pretty good pulse on it. I mean, obviously it's out of your control at times, but yeah, I always had a very, very good beat against who was out there.
Yeah, I don't understand how some guys don't realize that.
I would agree, and I think that some people and players are involved in this, as much as fans are. People don't understand how good a 50-50 shift is at times. In games. They want action going north. They want a great defensive play, but sometimes the game call, and that's because it's a matchup where you see that you're against a line that doesn't favor your line, and you're just getting a puck deep, and you're trying to manage the puck down low. And if you get a chance to score, you're always going to take that chance. But sometimes a 50-50 shift is all you're looking for, and you're looking to get off because you're trying to right the ship or whatever it might be to get the matchup you're looking for. So don't underestimate the importance of that, right? Mm-hmm. Within the game within the game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you looked at, and I primarily played, especially early in my career, a lot of shutdown lines, right? And you knew that most of them didn't have the capability to score. That gives you an opportunity to take chances.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're Arizona tonight and you're playing well, let's keep in mind they're in a playoff spot. How do they approach this game then?
Well, I played for the Bear in Andre there, and I liked playing for him a lot. My guess is that he's warning them very much that they had a coach. They know they had a coaching change, but he's protecting his team against that, saying, "Hey, like they're not messing around. They're coming. So you better be ready." I think that they'll probably be caught off guard a little bit. That's human nature, but it'll take them a minute to settle in and match the pace. Outside of that, they're a team that they take some chances offensively, so they're vulnerable at times. In the few times that I've noticed them, that's where the Sens are going to have to try really hard not to get sucked into the trading chances game, because that just doesn't benefit the team. But if I'm Arizona, I'm playing the same way that we get approached. Pucks are going a little bit deep. We're turning on our heels. We're going to be quick in transition, and we're going to try to win the special team battle.
Can't believe you switched.
I have to. I'm a gambler. I'm gambling.
I'm thinking of switching now too after looking at that.
I'm glad I don't live in Ottawa. I'd be public enemy number 1 right now. Well, maybe Wally.
Yeah, no, I'm first because Yorkie keeps bringing it up.
I'm staying. I think the big boys are going to show up today. I think Brady has a night. I think Timmy's had a rough stretch here. It's time for him to buckle down here and have a good night. D, you're going to play more predictable. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope I'm right. Actually, just bet on the Sens.
Before we go, Sly, last question I have for you. Is Jacques Martin the head coach of this team at the start of next season?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, the one reason for me right now that this team doesn't have a GM, it might be because the candidates that really are at top of the list might not be available until the season ends. But I don't think Michael Andlauer and Steve Staios will want to get into a situation where there's no certainty when another season starts. So I think by the time next season starts, the picture will be clear. Who's leading this organization, and I think there will be a place for Jacques Martin in this team if he wants to keep going, but I just don't see it as being the head coach position.
Daniel Alfredson?
That's a different question. Last time I spoke with Alfie, last time I spoke with Alfie, he didn't really know what he wanted to do. Like, he was thinking about hockey operations a little bit. He was talking about development coaching. He didn't seem to be too interested in the lifestyle of a full-time coach. But then again, he seemed to really enjoy his short stint behind the bench. So to me right now, I haven't spoken to Alfie in a few weeks now. But I think he's still trying to figure his way around, and I wouldn't bet against him being assistant coach next season.
Oh, all right. I didn't think he would want to do it. I thought he was done with the travel, the time away, that all that. Like, it's a commitment to being an assistant coach.
It is addicting, though. It's addicting, and it stokes the fire inside. It's the next best thing to playing. So. We'll see. It'll be, hey, Bob, it'll be interesting because you get back into it. You're around a group. You're part of something. You've got skin in the game again.
I get it. It'll be good because nothing interesting has happened here in the last 6 months for us to talk about. So
I think it'll all be dependent. If they have a good run, though, and like it gets turned around here and you're part of that and you see that your work is making something be a lot better. I don't know. That's a great question. Time will tell. Well, I don't know the answer.
We will find out. Until now, we've all got to go ride our post-game bikes. So we'll chat. We'll
Fly.
Hey, I'm going to be on early next show, so you can teach me how to put this thing on this thing. Okay?
Hey. Bob, you brought up Zoolander earlier. This guy tweeted this out. He said you look like Zoolander.
That's so good. I love it. Good looking dude, eh? What if he looks like me? But yeah, I need a mic stand. I got this thing. 3 different pieces. This has been my mic stand here for about a week. So.
Sly, I don't know what to say anymore. Right?
Hey, I've had lots of fun today. It was really enlightening, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, man.
All right, everybody, take care. We will see you on Thursday, 9 a.m. Until then, enjoy your time off. Everybody, appreciate you tuning in. That's Coming In Hot Tuesday.
See you guys.
Coming In Hot is brought to you by Botano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.